welcome back. It's very nice to see you again. Happy that by the grace of God you were able to take time to listen to the principles that God has blessed us with. And I want to read a statement to you that will continue emphasizing the importance, because I want to make this point as much as I can, that we will see home for what it is. It's a place that is a mission field. It's a little heaven on earth. It's a place where we train for heaven. It's a place where the Holy Spirit resides. And then it becomes the sweetest type of heaven. I read once again from the book Adventist Home, and it says, a well-ordered Christian household is a powerful argument in favor of the reality of the Christian religion. So a well-ordered home, a godly home, is a powerful, it's not just an argument in favor of, it's a powerful argument in favor of the reality of the Christian religion. Other religions, they have just the teachings, the doctrines, and they have the rites, and they have the liturgy, and that's what the religion is all about. But Christianity is different. It's not about places that we go to worship God, even though we have places to worship God at. It's power from heaven. And that power from heaven makes people different. That power from heaven transforms people. That power from heaven makes a difference in people's life, to the point that they become a witness, a reality of that power from heaven in favor of the Christian religion. An argument that the infidel cannot gainsay. So it's such a powerful argument. The evidence is so obvious and so powerful and strong that not even the infidels, those that have no desire for religion, those who want to follow the world and the things in it, even though they do not believe the doctrines and the teachings, they cannot deny, they cannot ignore the powerful argument that a godly family is in behalf of Christianity. All, notice, not just some, not just few, not just most, all can see that there is an influence at work. So the people see that it's not us. It's not that we are so smart and so beautiful and so powerful that we haven't figured it out. That's not the case. They know, they acknowledge also that there's a power greater than us that is outside of us that has been at work. That's powerful. So even though they're infidels, even though they don't want to follow God, even though they don't care about God and His principle, they cannot deny a godly family and the power of God working in that family. I continue reading. There's an influence at work in the family that affects the children. Ooh. It's not just for us adults and grown-ups. It's not for people like me. Even children will be impacted. They will see also the effect of the work of God in little ones. And that the God of Abraham is with them. So they can see that the God of Abraham, the God that took Abraham out of his city, the God that took Abraham out of his pagan family, the God that made Abraham prosperous, the God that was with him in the good times and in the bad times, the God that gave Abraham a promised son. The God that made Abraham's wife able to bear children. The God that was with him for 100 years. Even though he never bought a place for himself. The only place he bought was a little property to bury his wife. That same God, the same God that had the power to do a wonderful work, also has the power to work in my family. Also has the power to work in your family. Also has the power to work in anybody's family. If we give him a chance. And it says, in the homes of professed Christians had a right religious mold, they would exert a mighty influence for good. So this statement has two sides to the same coin. He's saying that professed Christian homes have no religious molding whatsoever. Therefore, the influence that they're exerting into the world is not a positive one, it's a negative one. They profess to be Christians. They profess to wait for Jesus' second coming. They profess to know the Bible and the principles and teachings of God in it. They profess many, many things. However, that profession is not doing anything for them. And the molding, the example, the witness, the testimony that they are exerting upon the world is not a good one. Instead of people running to them to find out what is making a difference, people are actually running from them, knowing that they have nothing to offer to the world. I continue reading. They would indeed be the light of the world. So if we have a molding influence in our homes, is the Spirit of God is really at work with us, and He's working in us, our testimony will be so powerful that then we will be a light and a mighty influence for good. Oh friends, we need to become that light. See, Satan does not want that to be the case. He wants us just to be professing the name of God, professing religion, professing righteousness, professing truth. He doesn't care if we go to church, even on Sabbath. He doesn't care if we talk about Jesus coming back again, if we're not preparing for it. He doesn't care if we said that we need to go out into the community, do something. He knows that we are going to be doing in the community will have no impact whatsoever. But he cares about godly family and the influence that that family is exerting in that community. You can see it from the very beginning. When God created the family or the marriage, right away He created Sabbath. And Satan has been attacking both institutions from the very beginning. To the point that today, when you see the Christian world, 99% of them keep Sunday. They do not keep Sabbath, the holy day of God. They're breaking the fourth commandment. They're transgressing God's law. And in many cases, they don't even know it. On the other hand, you see families. You see the institution of marriage is in crisis. I mean, the people attending churches are divorcing as much as the people in the world. The people attending churches have children who are disobedient, ungrateful. They love the world and the things in it, and they have no delight in God and the things of God. They don't see any difference with their families in crisis and our families in crisis. See, Satan has been attacking both institutions, left and right, left and right. And today, you can see it just about anywhere we go. Just to give you an example, Adam and Eve, godly people, sin came into the world. What happened immediately? Now Adam was blaming God for his wife. And he was blaming the wife as well. He was saying, well, this woman is such a wicked and evil and bad woman that because of her, I'm now in a crisis. I'm now a sinner. God, that woman is the one to blame. I was minding my business, and then she came with some fruit, and I ate of them. Right away, you see Satan attacking the marriage institution. He was not attacking the Sabbath yet. However, he was attacking the first institution, knowing that if you destroy the first institution, then the second institution that was created and made for man have no reason of being around. Then when he attacks marriage, little by little, the marriage institution begins to fall. Then that wall of protection that is supposed to be around our children, a godly father, a godly mother protecting the little ones and educating the little one and forming the little one for heaven and creating by the power of God the character of Jesus in them as well. That wall of protection is removed or comes down, destroyed. And now Satan attacks our children right away with no mercy whatsoever. You see what happened? Now, Adam and Eve, they had a weak marriage. And then he attacked Cain. And then he attacked Abel. And now the two brothers were not getting along. They were fighting. There was a strife in that home to the point where the older brother killed the younger brother. And then in one day, Adam and Eve lost 2 children for good. One was killed by his own brother, and the other one, now out of fear, out of rebellion, ran away from home, never to come back. Imagine the pain of Adam and Eve when they had to bury their own son. And the other one ran away. Perhaps they didn't even say goodbye. Ran away from home. He was a rebel. He was a man that was in rebellion against God and also in rebellion against his home. Then we go to Abraham family. There we find 2 wives. That's not a good idea. And then 2 children, one for each wife. So the 2 wives were doing a lot of this. They were fighting again. They were not getting along anymore. They used to, not anymore. And the 2 children, there was rivalry. They were not getting along either. The older one despised the younger one. A home that was in crisis. When the marriage institution is weak, Satan comes right after and attacks the children. Let's move on. Isaac family. You have a father that favored one son, and then the mother favored the other one. That's not a good idea at all. That doesn't produce good results. That's not good at all. What happened? It came a point where the father told the oldest boy, go ahead, do some hunting for me, and bring some food because I want to bless you. The mother listened to that. And she knew that God had said the younger one is going to be the one receiving the birthright. And she was right about that. However, Isaac was not willing, for whatever reason that we don't know of, was not willing to follow that counsel. Do you know what she did? Instead of praying, instead of running to God, says, God, what are you going to do? What is going to happen? That's why you said, you promised, you had the power to fulfill your promise. God, this is in your hands. Take charge of it. We are not. That's not what happened. She went to the younger son and says, your son killed an animal, and I'm going to cook for your father the meal that he liked. And then you're going to go in, you're going to deceive your father, and by deceiving your father, you're going to receive the promise that God has promised to you. Well, you know what happened. You know the rest of the story. Because of that, now the older brother wanted to kill the younger brother. He just was waiting for his father to pass away. And now when he's dead, now I'm going to come and kill my brother. Guess what? The mother says, son, run away before your brother kills you. She knew about Cain and Abel. So he went away, never to see his mother again. He departed, never to see his mother again. See, that's not a good idea. When one favors a son and the other one favors the other one. See, Satan was attacking that family. He was not attacking the Sabbath in the family yet, but he was attacking and destroying that family as much as he could. Then we go to Jacob's family. Oh, what a mess. 4 wives. Not 2, 4 wives. Friends, 1 is enough. We don't need 4. And then 2 of them, they were sisters, but they were fighting. They were not being even nice to each other. One time, Rachel asked her nephew, can I have a little bit of the fruit that you have? And the man said, don't you dare to give him anything. He's my son, and what he does is for me, is not for you. Even though we are related, they were not treating each other very nicely. They were even bargaining who was going to be with Jacob that night. Imagine how low they went. Now, every wife had children, at least 2. And the brothers were not getting along very well either. Imagine Reuben went ahead and had a sexual relationship with one of his father's wife in his home. And that woman committed adultery with Jacob's oldest son. It's a mess. Then Simeon and Levi, they killed all the males in the city of Shechem. All the males. They deceived them by pretending that they were not going to be friends, they're going to be neighborly, and they want to go ahead and get along. And then the sister was going to be that man's son's wife. That was not the case. They said, well, if you circumcise, then we'll be one people. On the third day, when they were really in pain, they could not do much of anything. They went ahead and they killed every single man in that community. Then they sacked the city. They looted the city and took the people away. Good Christian family, right? Why? Because the sister, she was raped by a boyfriend that was not a Christian man. There's a teaching there. Be careful who you're dating with. So she was raped. Then what happened to Joseph? He was sold to other people as a slave. And then they lied to their father. Jacob only loved one woman, Rachel. And that woman was professing to be a Christian, but she was not. How do we know? Because she worshipped idols. And she stole the idols from her father, and then she lied to him and to the rest of the family. You see, that family professed to be a Christian family, but was not. It was not. Because Satan was attacking the family. He wasn't attacking that family on the Sabbath yet. But he was trying to destroy the influence and the power of God in that family. And we can continue giving you examples and more examples. Let me give you a few more. For example, King David. A man according to the heart of God. A man that could defeat armies after armies. A man that was a king, a good king. He knew how to rule his people. He was a good king. He was fair to the people. But he was not a good husband and good father. Way too many wives. And then children with all of them. And it came to a point where his oldest son, raped his sister. And then other brother killed him. And then that brother wanted to kill the father and take his position. Then, when Solomon became king, his older brother wants his position and then eventually also kill him and even his mother. Then we see Solomon, a wise man, very wealthy, to the point where silver was of no value in his days. A man that was very famous worldwide. However, he had 1,000 wives. That's for sure not a good idea. I don't think he was too wise as far as home life goes. Too many wives. And then his oldest son eventually became the king. And guess what happened to him? Because he was not willing to follow God and be faithful to him, the kingdom was divided. And then he went the wrong way. Instead of following God and be faithful to God, he went and followed the idols and the false gods of his days. Even godly King Josiah. What happened to his sons after he was killed and they came to the throne? Eventually, the people of God were taken into captivity in Babylon because he was not able to prepare them to be faithful and loyal to God. Even Samuel, a prophet of God, a godly man, a priest, he was also the civil leader of Israel. You see what happened to his children. No faithfulness. Perhaps he did what he could. However, they decided to go the other way. See, that's what Satan wants to do. You see a family and the family comes into the truth and they're happy. They want to walk with the Lord. They want to prepare for heaven. They're missionary-minded people. Guess what happened? The next generation, they had one foot in and one foot out. They just into the world, into the church, into the world, into the church. And then what happened in the following generation? They're all the way out. There's nothing left of that family walking with the Lord. That's what Satan is doing today. He has done it in the past, is doing it today, and he will continue to do it to the very last day of human history, is to take families apart and destroy them so they have no walk with the Lord anymore. I want to read to you a statement before I finish. And this is what it says. It says, the best test of the Christianity of a home is a type of character begotten by its influence. Actions speak louder than the most positive profession of godliness. Adventist Home, page 32. So the best test of the Christianity of a home is a type of character begotten by its influence. And it finishes by saying that actions speak louder than the most positive profession of godliness. This statement should make us think for a minute. So it's not what I say, it's not what I profess that counts. My actions, my character is that really shows who I am. And only by begetting a character that is a positive influence in that community, in that neighborhood, in that church, that the real test of Christianity is then taken. May God bless us. May we, by the grace of that wonderful Savior, Jesus Christ, be able to show the world actions that speak louder than any profession of righteousness. May God bless you.